Thank you for staying with us on the Monday Report. The year 2025 has been an eventful one, with key political events taking place, including the death of the former Prime Minister Raila Odinga, the Gen Z-led anti-government protests, and the high-octane by-elections in November. Our political affairs reporter, Emmanuel Too, looks back into the year that he covered in the following report.
This was the former Prime Minister Raila Odinga's last public engagement, his last dance, quite literally. The higher statement, Vijana fire.
Jeshi fire! Vijana fire! Mwe tayari kwa wanajeshi wa baba.
Maelfu ya wafuasi wake kutoka kwa matabaka tofauti. This was the former Prime Minister Raila Odinga's last public engagement, his last dance, quite literally. I was one of the journalists who covered his last assignment, and this is where he actually was meeting some members of the National Assembly of the ODM party just before the House could resume from a short recess. I could feel that Raila's voice was not the normal one. It sounded a bit feeble.
ODM! Santeni Sani may be seated.
And I remember him making a speech, a 24 minutes long speech, which by the time he was done, I knew it would have really caused a lot of ripples.
Who's told you that ODM will not have a candidate in 2027? Who has told you?
Sad to say I'm on my way, won't be back for many days.
I felt numb when I heard about the demise of the former Prime Minister Raila Odinga. The weather was actually gloomy, and it was actually in consonance with the mood of the day.
Manuel, good morning. It's good to see you. How's the mood like where you are?
In the next hour and 30 minutes or so, the body of the late former Prime Minister Raila Odinga will be touching down here at the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport. I was with my colleague, Stephen Leto, and he was actually looking very distraught. And I remember that's when Leto received a call when we were just having some lunch, breakfast thing. And Leto received a call from my boss, Linus Kaikai, and he was told to fly, that he was going to India. And Leto actually left me a bill. And I think Leto, you'll one day actually sort this one soon.
Mourning, route 001, final runway 06.
It was calm before the eruption that came after, when the body of Raila Odinga touched down aboard the RAW 001 at the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport. And the only thing I remember is seeing twigs all over the runway. And I couldn't understand how those people made their way into the being received. And the repatriation ceremony was supposed to take place there. I remember seeing the program and going through it, and it was not followed because it was not possible to do it. I remember seeing the the CDF General Chaska Hariri trying to talk to these supporters who were actually wailing, holding the casket that was carrying Raila's remains, actually asking for a chance for the military to continue with the process of repatriating Raila's remains, but that was not possible. President William Ruto, who was actually supposed to be actually witnessing that, could not come out of the main presidential pavilion or the VIP section that was just a few meters from there. On a normal day, the journey from the runway or the JKIA main entrance to the gate would normally take about 3 to 5 minutes without traffic. On that day, it took 3 hours. You can imagine, because of the commotion, the people, the sea of humanity that was there, and the members of the police actually remember a helicopter hovering and actually escorting the body, but trying to actually create some way to talk to those people who are there to let the body move, because there were people waiting at the Mourning International Sports Center Kasarani.
Uwanja wa kimataifa ama ukipenda uwanja wa kitaifa wa Nyayo.
On the day when the body of Raila Odinga was supposed to lay in state at the Nyayo National Stadium, as a journalist, I'm trained to keep my emotions away from my job, and I actually tried to do that until the time when I was interviewing the Member of Parliament for Likoni, Mishi Mboko. And I remember Mishi has this way, this thing, that whenever she speaks, it gets a bit emotional.
Kiyo ni mafunzo kwa sisi wa Kenya kwamba tuwe na Kenya moja, tuwe na upendo.
Asante sana, poleni sana, na tutarudi baadaye, lakini kwa sasa naambia nirejeshe studio kwa sababu. And I remember getting overwhelmed, and my colleague Emmanuel Too was luckily around, and he continued with the interview. And of course, I remember also taking some pictures just to remember that day. At the Mamboleo Stadium, Jomo Kenyatta Mamboleo Stadium in Kisumu, you could feel that this was someone who was loved in life and in death. That's when I realized that music could actually be used to calm down tensions, to calm down people who are wailing, because the DJ Spider, who was on the decks, was dropping song after song, a hit after hit of those songs that Raila actually loved during demonstrations, during the campaign periods 2007, 2013, 2017, and 2022. And after the event, there was a lot of wailing, there was a lot of mourning. You could feel that the fatigue had started settling in. You could even see from our eyes when we were reporting. It was a bit tiring to be on for all those hours. The body now moves to Bondo, where he'll be interred tomorrow with the military leading the way. Emmanuel Too, Citizen TV from the Mamboleo Stadium, Kisumu. But the most important part of this is that I will really miss, as a journalist, the aura that Raila brought, the capacity of him to move masses, the ability to reinvent himself that many politicians are still grappling to get, especially those probably in the opposition. And of course, this goes without saying that the statement that Raila actually used to have, the higher statement, Vijana Fire.
Jeshi about done. Jeshi fire. Vijana fire. Vijana fire. Vijana fire. Vijana fire. Vijana fire.
Raila was a good historian. As a journalist, I really benefited from those storytelling sessions that he used to do, and that really enriched the context of how we used to report. And so we really miss Baba Raila Odinga, and may his soul rest in eternal peace. And this will be the first Christmas and the festive season without him, and it is different.
Hapa
The other event that actually stood out for me again this year was the coverage, the reportage of the by-elections. I was privileged to cover the Mbere North by-election in Embu County. There's a guy with a pistol. Those are shots exactly after 5 p.m. Around 5:20 thereabout, we saw a convoy of fuel guzzlers carrying some people who actually covered, I think they were goons, who were covered all over their faces. And some actually saw one of the members of parliament who was among those people who came there. And I remember there was a guy that actually met there who was tear gassed, and he was chewing miraa, or I don't know what he was chewing. And I tried talking to him to ask him to tema jaba, because it's called jaba, so that I could hear him clearly, so that we can hear him clearly. And I remember him getting very agitated. Labda ukitema jaba utaongea vizuri.
Acha kuniambia vile nitafanya ndugu yangu. Tutakosana mimi na vile hujaiona, ona.
Ni 6 jioni na unaambia mtu ateme jaba ati jumna muinterview kwa news.
Even the person with the taxin does not have the right to tell this taxin when to come out.
And I want to take this opportunity to apologize to him for telling him to tema jaba. Na hii si story ya jaba. And we want to wish you a new year full of God's blessings, and we hope to see a more prosperous year 2026.